Hey guys, welcome in. Happy Thursday. Another edition, Rob Kendall Show. Before we get started today, don't forget the website. If you haven't been there, check it out. robkendallshow.com. robkendallshow.com. We've got the live link, the various podcasting platforms. We've got articles from transcripts of our favorite segments we do each day. And of course, we've got the very fabulous support button up there at robkendallshow.com. If you're a fan of the show, you like what we do, you enjoy what we do, you can hit that support button. $1, $10. One of our great YouTube listeners, the great Steve Green, giving yesterday. And so we thank all the people. We try to name the names, maybe not every single day, but we try to get caught up as fast as we can. The people who support the show over at robkendallshow.com. Hit that support button. Also, don't forget, if you're a Twitter person, I'm on Twitter at Rob M. Kendall, at Rob M. Kendall. A lot of the stuff we talk about on the show, we do thoughts over there as well. Find us on Twitter at Rob M. Kendall. All right, today, big show. A little bit later on, we're going to totally expose the property tax scam that's going on in the state of Indiana and the scam that is Senate Bill 1. Now, we have been telling you about this for a year. And now the property tax bills have come out, and they are exactly as we told you they were going to be. And I'm going to use my own property tax bill to show you what I've been telling you for the past year. Everything I've been telling you for the past year is happening. And what these guys are trying to do is convince you, because many people's bills will go down this year compared to the previous year. We fixed it. Problem solved. Look at us. We're going to shred that today using my own property tax bill. Everything we told you is coming true. But first, let's start with Donald Trump last night. Now, you guys know our bread and butter, the thing we focus on the most is local issues. However, we will talk some national stuff if it affects us here at home. Certainly, the price of gas, the price of oil, which is the major contributor to the price of gas, affects us here at home. So let's talk about it. Look. There are some things Donald Trump has done well as president. We've talked about them. I think the border, I think the security of the country, great. He's really messed this thing with Iran up, and he needs to stop talking. He needs to stop. Every time he opens his mouth on this, he seems to make it worse. So NBC News had a big article about his speech last night, and television stations covered it, etc. Oil jumped overnight by about 8%. That press conference, or the press address to the nation that Trump did yesterday, caused oil to jump overnight about 8%. So, obviously it isn't a direct, doesn't mean just because the oil goes up, the gas is immediately going to go up. I filled up this morning. I got gas for $3.75. Do what you want to do, but oil went up overnight 8%. So what happened? Well, he said last night, and look, I saw a lot of people comment about this, including people that are Trump supporters, big Trump supporters. They got done, they said, that's it? That's all he had to say? What did he tell us? What did he tell us we didn't already know? And the answer is nothing. He made it worse, though, because the market, anytime the president speaks, the market reacts. Sometimes well, sometimes not so well. And Trump sometimes, I think, just speaks to hear himself speak. Oh, I can stop network television. Let me do that. It's not to say what's going on in Iran is not important. It's vitally important. But I don't understand yesterday what that was all about, because I don't think there was any breaking news or anything that we didn't already know. And the things he did say had a negative impact on at least the oil market. We'll see what happens with the stock market today. Trump said yesterday that the U.S. is going to, quote, hit Iran extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We already knew that. He said the war won't last long and discussions with Tehran are ongoing. Okay, we already knew they were talking with Tehran. Again, so we learned nothing. We've heard wars won't last long before. Remember a mission accomplished in Iraq? Nobody believes the politicians when they say things anymore, including Donald Trump, especially when it involves U.S. involvement in the Middle East. Giles Alston. So NBC talked to a guy by the name of Giles Alston. He's a political risk analyst at Oxford Analytica. And here's what he said, quote, It's becoming increasingly clear that the U.S. position on what you do to get your oil out of and through the Strait of Hormuz is now something which Washington has largely washed its hands off. This is now something for those who take the oil through the Strait to sort out for themselves. The Strait of Hormuz is not opening anytime soon. It's not. The war with Iran is not ending unless Trump just says we're done anytime soon. We're not getting any sort of victory in terms of toppling the regime. Is not happening. And Trump and his administration have done a terrible job of explaining what's in it for us. Simply saying, and this is the problem with the government losing all trust with the people. You know, he's hang on, future generations and this. How? Why? How? Why? What is happening with Iran right now that ensures us that people who love the United States are going to do business with us, who are going to be good stewards of the good citizens of the world, and not sponsoring international terrorism, which Iran is arguably the largest state sponsor of terrorism? What assurances? What do you have in place? Look at what happened to Venezuela. Okay, you got rid of Maduro. Great. Who's in charge? Maduro's number 2. It's still pretty much business as usual over there. Look at what happened with Iraq. Okay, you took out Saddam Hussein. No threat to the United States, but a bad guy. Okay. Who took over? Insane, crazy people, terrorists. We have a track record of taking out bad guys and then not. Do you guys remember back to the very first episode we did of the Rob Kendall Show? By the way, it's 1 month. Can you guys believe it? We've been together for 1 month. Thank you to each and every one of you who's been a part of this show with us, who has been a part of the show with us for the past month. It helped us grow the show, helped us get the word out. We can't thank you guys enough for doing that. And we need you to help us continue to grow the show. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But remember, the first segment that we did on this show was about the military strikes on Iran, which happened over the weekend before we started Monday, March the 2nd. And we talked about that Trump is going to have to define victory. He's going to have to define success. When you, especially when you, anything the president does, but especially any military action, you have to let the public know, here's when we believe we've succeeded. Trump is horrible at the sale after whatever he does. Look at the big, beautiful bill. Have you seen Trump doing the usual, when a president gets a signature agenda item passed across the country, the sell, where he's going into the communities and talking with, mayors and these business owners and like the round tables? Do you see that? I don't. He almost never does the sell afterwards because he's on to the next thing. You can't do that. You have to sell. And in the case of Trump, there has been no clear definition from the beginning about what success actually is. What does it look like? When are we done? What do we get out of it? All we're getting right now, look, it cost me $37 to fill up my tank this morning. I was basically completely done with gas, had to fill it up, $37. It's normally $26, $27. So I'm paying $10 more a week to drive to work. And guys, I've got about the lowest level of automobile you can possibly have. Like 35, 40 miles to the gallon. It's golf cart. It's a legalized golf cart. No power locks, no power windows. Like, I'm at the bare minimum. $37 to fill up my tank. And it's a small tank. I can't imagine what that's like for you guys. Like, I can't imagine. You got the 20-gallon tank, you got the truck, you got the thing that's burning a whole bunch of fuel. I mean, I can drive for a week on a 10-gallon tank. I can make it. I'll make it, barring some unforeseen trip that I have to take somewhere. I'll make it till next Thursday. But it's $10. If you extrapolate that out over 52 weeks, doesn't mean this is going to last 52 weeks. I'm saying right now, if you extrapolate that out, that's $520 this year. The war in the war in Iran would cost me. Not worth it to me because Trump's not laying out what I'm getting out of it. And it doesn't make you selfish, and it doesn't make you unpatriotic to ask, as an American taxpayer, as an American citizen, what's in it for me. It doesn't make you anti-JFK. Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. You can ask, why is your country doing this? It's okay to do that. And Trump is not making that case. And every time he talks, there are negative occurrences, it seems like. Especially with the war and with the gas. Look, living is already getting very unaffordable for a lot of people. Living is already getting tough, is tough. And these spikes in gas prices are just making it worse. So we'll see what happens. I think at this point, some level of ground troop is starting to seem inevitable. They can't allow the Strait of Hormuz to remain closed indefinitely. It's having too big of an impact. And without ground troops right now, for the foreseeable future, there's no way you secure the Strait of Hormuz. None without ground troops. In the modern warfare era with drones and everything else, too risky. Nobody's going to do it. Not without the ground troops. And then once you put the ground troops in, you may stabilize the price of gas. Maybe. But then what does that open up with the American public, who is vehemently against ground troops? American boots on the ground in foreign countries. Then what does that do? See, sometimes I think these politicians, they buy their own hype. They buy their own set of self-beliefs. And they don't think things through long term. Look, Trump's a great salesman. He can't sell his way through this. Too many presidents have made too many mistakes in the Middle East for the American public to give any American president the benefit of the doubt when it involves attacking a foreign country. Iran are bad guys. Absolutely. No doubt about it. World's largest state sponsor of terrorism. They've killed a lot of people. They hate the U.S. They hate Israel. But that's another problem Trump has. Too many people in America see this as an Israeli war that we are participating in, that we are being Big Brother in. And they may not be wrong. And it doesn't make you a bad guy for thinking that. Like, it doesn't make you an anti-Semite. It doesn't make you hating the Jews. It doesn't any of that. You're allowed to say, we should not be the military might for Israel. You're allowed to say that. It doesn't make you an ist or a phobe or anything else. And any broadcaster or media member who tells you that, you tell them right where to shove it. You say, Rob Kendall said, right where you can shove it. Our job is to take care of America and Americans. You are allowed to say, we are not the indefinite policeman for Israel. Now, there are some merits. There are merits to wanting to make sure Israel exists as a country. Absolutely. No doubt about it. And the U.S., we've done our part for that over the years. You're allowed to say, when is enough enough when it comes to Israel? You're an anti-Semite, or you're a bad person, or you hate Jews, or whatever it is. There are people who lose their minds when you question anything as it relates to Israel. It's gross. You're a taxpayer. You're an American citizen. You're being financially impacted by this. You are allowed to say this is crap. You are allowed to say America's indefinite and sometimes over-the-top defense of Israel is costing me money and I'm not standing for it. Just like you're allowed to say it with any other country. Just like you're allowed to say with things happening in this country. The all Israel all the time people, they're ridiculous. Tell them. Don't let them get away with it. You say, I'm an American. I'm sorry, I don't think this war is worth $520, which is a minimum what it's going to cost me. That's just my fuel if this stays going. Now, could be resolved in 3 weeks. Probably not going to be. You realistically think it's going to be? No. But you're allowed to say, I'm allowed to say, I don't think, which is what this war comes off as, is settling a score for Israel to many people. There's evidence of that. There's nothing Trump said about, hey, Iran had this or that, and we were going to, they didn't even try the Bush thing, or at least Bush with Saddam Hussein was like, we're going to end up in a mushroom cloud very soon. They didn't even do that. It comes off as Trump wanted to do this for Israel. He got tired of dealing with Iran, and he said, screw it, I'm going to do it. That's what it comes off of to the average person. Now, if there's more to the story, Trump needs to sell it because he hasn't done it. I am so sick, though, of the people coming out with the name calling, the is, the phobe, the this, the that, the anger. American politicians, American elected officials are supposed to take care of America and Americans. I mean, if this goes on, which it usually does, long term, if I'm out $520 for just my gas, think about the cost of everything that's going to go up. I'm already paying out the ass for that. You're already paying out the backside for that. You're allowed to speak up. You're allowed to look at someone who gets angry at you for speaking up and say, you are a completely ridiculous, unserious person, and you should totally do it. And if they want to fight with you about it, say, Rob Kendall said it too. See what they say to that. Someone who's not ridiculous or unserious, our guy, Adam Baltus, Baltus Travel Service. Most of you guys know, and we've talked about this before, we joked about it for years, I hate to leave my house. And I legitimately do have a fear of flying. But a major reason I don't like to go on vacations is the trip planning just seems overwhelming. You guys know I have the OCD, like just not being out of my comfort zone. It's bad for me. I struggle to even get started, but not anymore because I've met Adam Baltus of Baltus Travel Service. Adam is a one-stop shop for any adventure you'd like to plan anywhere in the world. Handles it all. Car rentals, flights, hotels, you name it. And the great thing is, in most cases, using Baltus Travel Service for your next adventure will not cost you a single dime more. You take all the worry out of it. He does all the work. You go where you want to go. Doesn't cost you any more. Adam is certified through most major cruise lines, as well as Disney and Universal theme parks. Get started today by visiting baltustravel.com, Baltus, B-A-L-T-U-S, travel.com, or call 812-593-7561. 812-593-7561. Let Adam know you heard about him on the Rob Kendall Show. All right. Since nobody else will do it, I'll do it. I'm going to expose the property tax scam when we come back. The bills are showing up in the mail. I got mine. I'm going to use my bill to show you how Braun and Beckwith and the rest of these people are trying to pull the wool over your eye, the Indiana General Assembly, make you think they did something to help you. We're going to expose the scam. We're going to expose the scheme when we come back. You're watching Rob Kendall Show.
Are you seeing cracks in mortar, moisture working through walls, facade or structural failure beginning to surface? Bramwell Mackay sets the standard for exterior and structural building solutions. Our 40-year master masons and industry experts address moisture intrusion, failing foundations, masonry deterioration, and more. From preserving historic landmarks to addressing modern building envelope issues, Bramwell Mackay delivers full-spectrum service with white-glove professionalism. In Indianapolis, call 812-33-BRICK. 812-33-BRICK.
Buying a home or thinking about refinancing? Work with someone local who understands the central Indiana market. Gary Tedrow with Verity Mortgage helps homebuyers and homeowners explore options for purchasing, refinancing, or even consolidating higher interest debt through their mortgage. Gary's approach is simple, clear advice, and personalized guidance so you can make confident decisions. Visit loansbygary.homes to learn more or get started today. You've got nothing to lose but dollars on your mortgage payment. So call for a free, no-obligation quote, 317-695-5179. Gary Tedrow, NMLS number 179207 with Verity Mortgage, NMLS number 70345, an equal housing opportunity lender.
Are you a Clay County resident who is ready to be part of creating a brighter future for our citizens? Doug Cobb is running for county commissioner and will bring fresh perspective to the table. A local farm and business owner, he has skin in the game of our county's success. He knows that a great team can accomplish so much more than any one of us alone and is ready to create a brighter future for Clay County together. The committee to elect Doug Cobb approves this ad. Paid for by Linda Cheatham.
Welcome back, Rob Kendall Show. Thanks for joining us. Man, we are about to do a very important segment we're about to expose the Senate Bill 1, the property tax scam. And you'll be able to take, look, I've been telling you this for a year now, but the bills have finally showed up, and everything that I have been telling you is now happening. And you can see it in black and white. And then you'll be able to do this with your own bill, and you'll be able to go back to your state house rep and senator. You'll be able to go to Braun. Now, the media won't do it because for some reason they won't ask him about suspending the gas tax, which, by the way, for our last segment we just did, if we know the Strait of Hormuz isn't opening anytime soon, which was Braun standard, and we know gas is going up, which was Braun standard, which it is, oil skyrocketing again last night, when is Mike Braun going to follow through on his pledge that he made March the 9th and suspend the gas tax? His two standards were the price of gas and the Strait of Hormuz. Neither one of them are better than when he said it on March 9th. In fact, they're worse. Why won't the media ask him about this? He said it, and the media, including people supposedly on our side, will not ask him about this. Why? Why? You ask him. You see him out, you ask him. It is unbelievable to me. Anyway, coming up here in just a moment, we're going to expose the property tax scam because we got the numbers, we got the data, and now you'll have it to be able to take back to these people and go, Rob was right. Everything Rob said is happening. Why is this okay? Data is a hell of a thing. And these politicians, they bank on being able to BS you, not do what they said, maybe in the moment. We'll talk about the little scam that's going on here with the property tax bill. Make you think they fixed it because they don't believe you'll do the research. Well, that's the great thing about this show. You don't have to do the research. I do the research. I pay. I do the research. But before we do that, a couple of reminders. If you haven't, please subscribe to our show on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. A lot of you are watching, not subscribing. Jason's making a list. He's checking it twice. Hit that thumbs up button as well. I know it's like, Rob, you tell us to do that every day. We do it for a reason. It is a huge help to our program to hit that thumbs up button. It takes 2 seconds. Nobody knows who you are. We know you people in the State House are watching. We've got thousands of people tuning in. We know you're watching. Don't be a dine and dasher. Jason, you'll love this. We'll get into this later. An elected official texted me yesterday, and they said, look, your dine and dash comment made me feel compelled to actually subscribe. I watch every day, and I hit the subscribe button. Yeah, like it's if you're watching and you're not subscribing and you're not hitting the little thumbs up, we don't ask you for any money. I mean, we do say if you want to hit the support button at robkendallshow.com, you can do that and support the show. But we don't charge you to watch this show. We don't charge you to watch the show. Our fine advertisers like Vent Savvy take care of that for us. By the way, finally met John from Vent Savvy today in person. What a guy, man. He's awesome. And he said, you guys have been awesome. You guys are totally responding to him. And he's been meeting you. And he said, it's awesome. And it's wonderful. He was telling me about some of them. What a guy. We'll tell you about him in a little bit. But we don't charge anything to watch this show. So all we ask, subscribe. Once you've done that, then you're done with it. And then hit that little thumbs up each day. Say, I like what you're doing. Also share the feed. If you're feeling super generous, share the feed and let people know you're watching Rob Kendall Show. We don't have a big army behind us. We don't have a team, a corporation. It's just Jason and myself. We're in a 12 by 14 room, people. We are stripped down. Just us talking into the camera. So we need you to help us grow. We all win together. We all win together, and we win by getting the feed out, letting people know what we're doing. And so I'm going to tell you about the property tax scam here in just a moment. Before I do that, I want to tell you about our friend Lauren Wilson, Realtor Extraordinaire. Don't leave your biggest investment to chance. Work with Lauren Wilson with At Properties, a realtor who is Hoosier through and through, military vet, dedicated to a higher standard of service. Lauren Wilson is ready to help you start your next chapter. Lauren Wilson, At Properties. Give her a call for your next home purchase, home sale. Guys, look, when it comes to dealing with home purchases and home sales, it's great to have somebody ready to go. Like, you know why this show is successful? Because I had producer Jason ready to go. I was like, I got to go out on my own now. I got a guy already that can do all the stuff for me. Do that with Lauren Wilson. Give her a call ahead of time. You don't have to wait until you're ready to buy or sell a home. Just know when I'm ready to do this, I've got my person. Call Lauren Wilson. Get to know her. She's awesome. 317-590-2290. Lauren Wilson with At Properties. 317-590-2290. All right. Let's talk about property taxes, shall we? And I'm going to use my own bill to point out to you how everything I've been telling you for the past year and a half is coming true. And you say, we're using your own bill. Your property tax bill is public record. Okay, you guys can look up what I'm about to tell you about my property tax bill. And I can look up Jason's property tax bill, and I can look up your property tax bill. It's not some private thing. And property tax bills are public record. So the bills are coming. Now, remember with your bills, you pay in what's called pay in arrears. So it's your 26 bill payable for 27, right? So it's or a 25 bill. When you get 25 bill, when you get your assessment, that's payable in 26. Your 26 assessment's about to come in. That'll be payable in 27. So everything's a year behind, right? So your assessment that you got last year, you guys remember this, get your assessments in the spring. It happens every year, spring, summer. And then you pay on that a year later. And don't forget, you pay off of your assessment. You guys following me? So you're always paying a year behind your assessment. Your assessment's for the next year, and you pay off of that. The assessment, there's an elected person called an assessor, and that person has a team of people, and they go out and they give sort of for lack of a better term, what they think your house is worth on the fair market. Look, have you done any changes, advances, upgrades, whatever? And then they look at, and this is where the first part of the scam comes in, they look at what I call like property sales. Now, there's a technical name for it. Some assessor right now is watching this screaming about whatever the technical name is. By the way, don't forget, you guys remember the old radio show? We had the Tippecanoe County assessor on our program. Democrat, by the way, I think. And he was like, appeal your assessment every time. It's like, appeal it, challenge it, appeal it, whatever. He was like, do it. We screw things up all the time. The system is totally broken. Do it. That was a Democrat assessor, Tippecanoe County, telling people to do that. He's like, challenge the assessment. It's totally screwed up. There's no rhyme or reason to any of it. That's your system for property taxes in the state of Indiana. So assessor comes out, looks at what someone else, part of what they look for is what someone else made money off of their home. Who sold their home for what? You're not making any money. But they're punishing you. They're raising your assessment, which is raising your property taxes based on if somebody else did. That's an unrealized capital gain, isn't it? Now, Kamala Harris proposed doing that when she ran for president, and Republicans called her a communist and this and a that and a this, and they're right. We're doing the exact same thing in Indiana. We raise your taxes based on some government figure, who you'll never meet in most cases, telling you what your home is worth. And by the way, these people, and it's not malicious, it's the job of the assessor. That's why the Tippecanoe County assessor years ago said, appeal it, challenge it, take it on. Like, these people are understaffed, and they're sending people out, and they're just making it up, right? I mean, in most cases. I, on multiple occasions, have called over, objected to things in my assessment, and they were right. You're right. They said, you're right. We've made a mistake here. They changed it. Always challenge the assessment. Always call over there and make the assessor work through the assessment with you. Say, how did you come to this? Can you review this? Can you look at this? Look at your neighbor's assessments. That's a great way to see if you're in line with everyone else. If you're probably working off of a quote-unquote correct assessment. I did that a couple years ago. All the houses around me are pretty similar in size, year, etc., lot size. My assessment was higher than theirs. I said, wait, what's going on here? They looked at it and they said, you're right. Hey, we made a mistake on this and that, and blah, blah, blah. But the point is, the bills are here. And I told you last year when they passed Senate Bill 1, which was the property tax bill, I said, your bill's going to go down next year. Don't get fooled. I said, that is by design. The credit, the quote-unquote credit, remember, that was Braun's big thing at the end of the property tax debate. Well, they're giving everyone a 10% credit. I said, Braun. And I told him this in the very last meeting. When I met with Braun at State Party headquarters, it was Braun, myself, Josh Kelly, Micah was there. Micah's chief of staff was there. I said, please do not sign this bill. This is going to be a very, very, very bad bill. Well, we're coming back for more next year. They said, well, you better tell everybody what more is because people are going to be outraged if you sign this bill. Did they come back for any more this past year? Anybody? Anyone? I mean, Braun told those, and Micah told those conservative activist people that go to the governor's mansion once a month. I think it's once a month. Hey, we're coming back for more. We got an ace up our sleeve. What was it? Was there some big move on property taxes that I missed this year? Not involved like it used to be, but I follow the news pretty closely. Can somebody tell me what Micah and Braun did this year? Because they made pretty big declarations. They were coming back for more. What more did they come back for? Nothing. That's what they came back for. Nothing. Braun lied, Micah lied because they lie about everything. So what I told you guys is I said, do not get fooled on your bill going down this year if indeed it does. Now, not everybody's bill is going to go down. But don't get fooled because it is the frog in the boiling pot of water. The lawmakers made that credit to the point it would go down in year one, maybe even in year two. And they wanted you then to stop paying attention. They wanted to get you off their ass. That's what this was about. Let's throw a few crumbs at the peasants. The bill will go down in year one, maybe even year two, and then they'll leave us alone. People won't realize the scam. That's where I come in. I'm going to expose the scam and tell you everything I've been telling you is right. Because remember last year, they were like, well, he's just negative about everything. We're going to lower property tax bills, and he can't even accept that. No, I refuse to accept bad public policy that's going to screw my audience in the end. By the way, ask Braun about it. Ask Micah about it. If anything I'm saying is a lie, ask him to disprove it. Ask Diego, man of the people. Ask Todd Rokita, conservative fighter. Ask your state rep. Ask your state senator. If any of them would like to say what I am saying right here is a lie and they can prove it, they're welcome to come in on the show. Rob's lying. That's not accurate. Okay, great. Tell me. I'm all ears. Because last year was Rob's the this. He's a shock jock. He's doing this for ratings, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Well, what everything I said was going to happen is happening. So, don't forget the outlier on all of this. I'm about to work through the bill, but don't forget the outlier. The outlier is that in 2029, the new income tax system is going to go into effect. And the new income tax system, if you live in a major town or city, is going to allow your town or city for the first time to level income tax they could not before, and your income tax will go up. I read a county councilor. I'll get to this Hendricks County voter guide here in a little bit, which is we are so screwed as a society. But I am the lone person that reads the voter guide from cover to cover. People in Pittsburgh, Lisbon, North Salem, Plainfield, people I've never even met. I've read their bios, the things they want to do. It's fascinating to me. But one of the people that's on the Hendricks County Council who's running for re-election said in his bio, they asked him things he wanted to work on, things he wanted to do. He said, well, the income tax, if you live in a city or town, is going to go up for you. Well, wait a second. I said that last year, and I got called a shock jock and a liar and a this and a that. This guy's got no affinity for this person. They just said the exact same thing. So in 2029, if you live in a town or a city, count on your income tax going up. That was the money grab portion of this, right? It's not about making you pay less. It's about making you think you're paying less, and it's about deflecting blame. So what the state did, before we get to the bill, is they told these cities and towns, don't worry, help's on the way. Sure, you may, quote unquote, lose some money in year one, but we're going to give you this income tax levy ability. Now, the state's kind of screwing these cities and towns over because it was supposed to be 2027 it could be levied. Now they moved it to 29, and don't forget the Capitol Chronicle had the article in which now the state, these lawmakers, Travis Holdman et al., Senator Travis Holdman, are begging the cities and towns and counties to help them because they've screwed it up so bad. They're like, this is messed up beyond belief. Can you help us? But that's coming in 29. Also, don't forget, there's nothing that will stop your local school district from going for a school referendum this fall. And you're going to see these all over the state. Now, I think where I live in Brownsburg, they seem very genuine in trying to avoid that. They've put some very reasonable proposals out there in front of the local government body, the town government body, to make that happen. Hopefully that gets worked out. But most places, if you don't have a Rob Kendall living in your town, there's a good chance, or your city, they're going for a school referendum. They're not going to take the lack of revenue that they're not going to take less revenue. They're not taking it. They're not taking it. And they know there's a better chance than not in most places, unless you have an absolute pain in the ass like me there, that they'll pass. There's nothing that's stopping. They did nothing in the property tax bill to stop school districts from going from these school referendums if they don't like the amount of money they're getting. Nothing. So, in 29, your income tax is probably going up. Maybe as soon as this fall, the school referendums will be put on the ballot and pass, which means your property taxes will go up. Now let's talk about how when it's all said and done, that $300 credit is going to mean nothing. All right, let's do some math, shall we? Math is a crazy thing. Math is a crazy thing, and that's why they hate me. This is why these politicians hate me. Not because I'm mean to them, but I point out what they do. Nobody else does it because nobody else has the institutional knowledge that I do and doesn't care. A lot of people know these things I'm about to tell you, but they care. They don't want to lose something. They don't want to lose their spot or their position or be accepted in the club. They hate me because I'm smart enough and have enough institutional knowledge because I was in it to understand it. And nobody else is going to do what I'm about to do. All right. So let's use my bill, okay? My property tax bill, or my property tax assessment. And again, your bill is public record, my bill is public record, everybody's bill is public record. My assessment was $234,000 for my very modest Brownsburg home. That's what the county said my home was worth. Now, I have no intention of selling my home. I'm not going to monetize my home. But that's what the county said my home was worth. By the way, when I talk about the assessments being the problem, you guys want to take a guess at what my assessment was, the assessment of my home was when I bought it in 2022? It's about $166,000. The state has said that in 4 or 5 years, the assessment of my home has gone up, $70,000. I've not made a single penny off of that. And yet, up to last year, before this property tax bill that came in, I've been paying $700 more a year in property taxes. I'm still, after I get to my bill, you're going to pay about $450 more in property taxes over 4 or 5 years. My government, 21% increase. I did the math, 21% increase. My government has not gotten $450 better or 21% better. But that's what I'm paying on, again, my very modest ranch Brownsburg home on 1/3 of an acre on a town street. All right. So my home was assessed at $234,000, which is roughly, it went up about $7,000 from the previous year. Last year, I paid $2,273 in property taxes for last year's assessment. My assessment went up about $7,000. Came up with, before it was $227,000, now it's $234,000, which is the number that the taxes work off. So if you have a home, your property taxes are capped at 1% unless you have a school referendum. 1% of the assessed value. In most cities, towns, you're at the 1% cap. So the most I could pay without a school referendum is $2,340 because 1% of $234,000 is $2,340. You guys follow me? I'm trying to explain this as slow. Is this making sense, Producer Jason? Am I speaking English? It's so complicated. Like, this is the problem. And this is the problem I had at the old show. You got to do it in 7 to 9 minutes, so you can't do it. The scam is too big. You can't expose years of scheming and scamming in 7 to 9 minutes. Now I don't have to. I go the whole show on this. So last year I paid $2,273 in property taxes. If this credit that brought on the 10% credit reduction hadn't been in place this year, I would have paid $2,340. So I got a $234 credit on my property tax bill. Simple math says if you were set to pay $2,340, we're going to take 10% off. That number is $234. So if we're just an apples for apples comparison, my bill would have gone down $234, right? My bill only went down $162. Why? Because the assessment went up. The assessment went up, and the assessment is what your property tax bill is calculated off of. So if it were an apples to apples comparison, if I had the same bill I had last year, it would have been $234. But the bill only went down $162. Why? Because as the assessment rises, that eats up the reduction. So think about it. There are about $70 extra that I paid in property taxes because of a rising assessment. 70 plus 70 plus 70, 74 I think was the number. 74 plus 74 plus 74. 200 and what is that? 221, 34, 232-ish, roughly, right? Is that right? No, 230, 225, 200. Doesn't matter. Point is, in 3 years, that credit's done. If the assessment continues to rise at the rate it has, which it did last year, did more the previous years, in 3 years, that entire credit that Braun bragged about as some magic silver bullet to solve your property taxes is done. Everything I told you, it's in black and white. In 3 years on my home, that credit is wiped out. And in 3 years, I could be paying that new income tax that my town could levy. And we talk about those thieves and bandits that run the town of Brownsburg. You know they're going for it. So income tax going to go up. Property tax credit wiped out because of assessment. And there's a 50-50 shot in any community. You could have a school referendum which raises your taxes on top of that. These people who run our state are gross. Not because of their bad policies. That's bad enough. But the deceptive way they present it to you. Now, Braun doesn't know his head from his ass, so he may not have known. But the people who sold it to him, they knew. Micah Beckwith admitted to me after all this went down last year that he basically knew nothing about property taxes. Said, how could you not know? You ran on it. You won on it. Well, not everybody is as well versed as you. You ran for lieutenant governor. You were elected at the convention on being a check and balance on Braun. And the major issue that needed checked and balanced was property taxes. So you just went out and lied to people for a year. How could you not know about the thing? I remember being on the phone when we had this conversation. Remember how this all went down? Braun makes the announcement. Beckwith disappears. Everybody's like waiting for him to come out with some strong voice against Braun's deal. And then you heard nothing. And then remember he went on Hammer and Nigel and he wouldn't give an answer on whether he supported the bill or not. He was trying to be Braun's best friend, but also he knew everybody was pissed off. This phone call, I believe, would have been on that Saturday. I think he went on with Hammer and Nigel on a Thursday or Friday. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Like, everybody deceived you. Braun deceived you. Micah deceived you. These people who promised to deliver for you signed off on a horrible bill, a horrible deal, which in 2 to 3 years, you're going to pay more in taxes, a lot more. Depending on where you live, it could be thousands of dollars more. Income tax, school referendums, you're screwed. And all that and that credit gone. If Braun would like to debate this, there's a seat for him right next to me. If someone asks Micah Beckwith, is Rob lying? If the answer is no, then why didn't he fight? Why didn't he fight? All right, real quick, before we take a break, let me tell you about our friend Gary Tedrow. You're getting screwed on the property taxes. Maybe you can save some money on your mortgage. Gary Tedrow, Verity Mortgage, friend of the show, huge supporter. Gary Tedrow would love the opportunity to know about what's going on with you and your home. Call him today, 317-695-5179. Buying a home or thinking about refinancing, work with someone local, which Gary is, right here in Central Indiana, who understands the Central Indiana market. Gary Tedrow with Verity Mortgage helps home buyers and homeowners explore options for purchasing, refinancing, or even consolidating higher interest debt through their mortgage. Gary's approach is simple. Clear advice, personalized guidance. And then you make the choice. You give Gary your info. You say, hey, this is my mortgage info. This is what I'm paying. Can you help me? He'll run the numbers. If the answer is no, he'll say, thanks for calling. Thanks for listening to Rob. Have a great day. But if you can save money, why wouldn't you make the call? 317-695-5179. Or head over to loansbygary.homes. That's loansbygary.homes. Gary Tedrow, NMLS, number 179207 with Verity Mortgage. In MLS, number 70345, an equal housing opportunity lender. Okay, when we come back, the local county paper put out a voter guide. Like, here's all the people that are running for office in the county in which you live, which in my case is Hendricks. It was very nice of them to do this. And I read the thing cover to cover. And I was more depressed than ever based on the answers these people gave to questions. And these people are totally missing the point, and nothing is going to get better until these people figure it out. And we're going to tell you what that is when we come back, because I'm sure it's happening where you live as well. You're watching Rob Kendall Show.
Hi, I'm Lauren Wilson, a realtor with App Properties. Born and raised right here in Central Indiana and a Hoosier through and through. Selling your home is a massive undertaking, and I completely understand what that is. That's why when you work with me, we put a great plan together to make sure that when your home comes to the market, it is in the best light possible. Again, I'm Lauren Wilson, 317-590-2290. 317-590-2290. Let's put a plan together and get your home sold.
Right now, everything's expensive. That includes things you need around the house. If your water heater, water softener, or well pump goes out, or even if your toilet stops working, you could be looking at a major expense. Don't let your next call to a plumber break the bank. Call John at Black Sheep Plumbing. John is a Hoosier lifer who takes pride in and stands behind his work. That's why all basic services and repairs with Black Sheep Plumbing come with a 2-year parts and labor guarantee, with water heaters having a 6-year parts and tank guarantee. Call or text Black Sheep Plumbing for all your needs today and speak directly with John, the owner. 765-315-7558. That's Black Sheep Plumbing at 765-315-7558.
Are you a Clay County resident who is ready to be part of creating a brighter future for our citizens? Doug Cobb is running for county commissioner and will bring fresh perspective to the table. A local farm and business owner, he has skin in the game of our county's success. He knows that a great team can accomplish so much more than any one of us alone and is ready to create a brighter future for Clay County together. The committee to elect Doug Cobb approves this ad. Paid for by Linda Cheatham.
All right, guys, I'm about to do something else that you're not going to hear anywhere else. You're not going to see anywhere else. Radio guys not going to do it. TV guys not going to do it. They're not going to do it. You are lucky I have such a bizarre brain. You people are the beneficiaries of my personal torture. That's what we do here. Before we get to, I read this voter guide and what was in the voter guide that made me just, and I'm reading this like last night. I'll get to it here in a second. Before I do, though, just a couple of reminders. We have to grow the show. I am at your mercy. Jason is at your mercy. We cannot grow the show without you. Here's how you help us do it. If you like what we do, if you like this, if you enjoy this, here's how you do it. First of all, if you haven't, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching us on YouTube, whether it's live on demand, hit the subscribe button. Number 2, if you're watching us on YouTube, live or on demand, hit the thumbs up. Hit the little like button. It is so helpful to us. And third, share the feed. Tell people you are watching this, that you're interested in this, why you're interested in it. Let people know we're out there. Same thing if you're on the Apple or the Spotify. Share the feed. Let people know. Give us that 5-star review if you're on Apple. You can have a huge impact on what we do and how we grow. We need you guys. We need you guys to hold these politicians accountable, to keep going. Also, if you're feeling super generous, we have a support button up at robkendallshow.com. If you're like, damn, this is entertaining. This guy gives us the smoke. We're not going to get anywhere else. Hit that support button. $1, $10, whatever it is. We are so appreciative of it. Always try to send the thank you emails out to the people who give, and people give pretty much every single day. We can't thank you enough. Those are the ways you can support our show. Okay, real quick. So this is the Hendricks County voter guide. So in Hendricks County, which is where I live, the Danville Republican is the community newspaper. And this year, and I think they got a grant from a nonprofit, they did a very well done, like pages upon pages of a county voter guide, which is nice of them. They reached out to all the people running, whether you're running for the smallest office, township board, all the way up to Congress. They said, hey, can you tell us a little bit about you? We want to ask you some questions about you and what you want to do with your office so people can know you. And it went to, my understanding, it went to basically every home in the county. Now, those guys aren't running a soup kitchen over there. They're trying to make money, but it's a great service from the county newspaper, and I hope they made a bunch of money out of it because it's great show content for me. But before I get into the real heart of this, I wanted to read you, so people don't think I'm lying when I talk about the income tax, when I talk about how it's going to go up. One of the people running for re-election, the guy's name is Eric Wathen. Eric Wathen is a county council member. He was a county commissioner in Hendricks County before he was a county council member. So if anybody knows the finances on how county government works, it's this guy. He was asked about, or he got onto the topic of this income tax. And because remember, Rob's a shock jock, right? Rob's a liar. Rob does things for clicks. Rob's embellishing. Rob's lying to you. This is from a Republican county councilor and former commissioner. And here's what he said about the income tax, which I just told you, and I've told you for a year now, and they called me a liar. Are you ready? If you live in a town, you'll pay more in income taxes for sure. His exact words. If you live in a town, you'll pay more in income taxes for sure because they can have an income tax besides the counties. Call him a liar. Call him a shock jock. See, he's doing it for clicks. He's an elected official, and he said it. They hate me because I have the audacity to tell you the truth, and I have the platform. Had the platform, have a new one. They hate me because I don't play by their rules because I don't like any of those people, and I don't want to be friends with them. Right there it is, guys, black and white. An elected official saying the thing that I've been telling you. So the next time your state rep or state senator, you see them, ask them why. Ask them why it's okay for your income tax to go up. Don't let them lie and tell you it's not. It's happening. It's going to happen. Ask Micah. Ask Braun. Ask Diego. Ask Rokita. Ask Daniel Elliott. Ask them why that's okay. Ask the media why they aren't the ones asking Braun these questions. Like, why are the interviews fluff? Why do they let them get away with this? We love you enough to do it. Why don't they? Okay, so let's get to the voter. I just wanted to read that so that, again, how many times do I get proven exactly right or other people who are in the government say the exact same thing? And you know, with me, it's always he's lying, he's fibbing. No, I know how it works. Okay, so this is the voter guide that I read through last night. And I did this at about, I made the mistake of doing this at like 11 o'clock at night. I don't know why. I mean, I was finishing up the template. I've told you guys sort of the way my day works is I live in this show until about 5, and then I cut it off for 3 or 4 hours. My daughter gets home from daycare. We spend time together, and then I, sort of pick it back up about 8:30. And I do that because then all the stories are sort of out for the day. I can start going through the stories, figuring out what stories we want to talk about. Sort of some breaking news overnight. We kind of know what we want to talk about. And so this had been sitting on my table all day, and I thought, okay, I'm going to read through this. Like, I'd finished the template, was done with the show, and said, all right, I'm going to read through this voter guide. Not because I don't, I need to know who I'm voting for. I know who I'm voting for. But I'm going to be fascinated what the answers are from these people. And by the time I got done with the voter guide, I was so depressed. I was just like, I hung my head. Like, I read the answers, or tried to read the answers, of every single person running for public office in Hendricks County that participated in this huge publication. And I'm not in any way blaming the publication. Their job is to ask the questions. You give the answers, right? Good on them for asking the questions. But when you get done reading the answers, and I'm talking about whether these are township board people or city or town council people, county council people, commissioners, all of it, you realize nothing is going to change because the people running for public office still have some belief left in the institution itself, and as though the institution itself can actually be tinkered with and fixed. The system itself is so beyond broken that until our elected officials or the candidates for public office are willing to say the quiet part out loud, which should be the out loud part out loud, the system itself is so broken it cannot be fixed by one policy change or another. You know, these people get asked, like, what do you want to do when you're in office? And it was always like, well, I'm a big proponent of public safety. I care deeply about public safety. What the hell does that mean? I'm going to fight for public safety. What does that mean? Like, unless you give the fire and policemen everything they want, you're against them? What about fight for the taxpayers? The system itself, as it exists right now, cannot be changed to benefit you. It cannot be changed to benefit you. And until you have people running for public office who are willing to say out loud, this whole thing is broken, and I am here to tear it down on behalf of the taxpayers. I am here to finally be a body, a voice, who will do whatever it takes to make sure the taxpayers finally get some benefit. Nothing is ever going to change. The problem with people in the government, they're on the side of the government. The problem with the elected people is they believe in benefiting the system. I'm really pro public safety. That's not your job. Your job is to be pro taxpayer and then provide services that fit the community, yet work for the taxpayer. I used to run into this all the time when you would interview people. And by the way, guys, on this, I've walked the walk. I've walked the walk for talking the talk. Nobody in the history of local government ever cut more property taxes than me in 4 years. Now, you can say that was a bad move. It was pro-taxpayer. And you know what happened in those 4 years? And this was a lot of money back then. $300 million, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, $300 million was a hell of a lot of money. Kind of laugh at it today, right? In the inflation era. $300 million of private investment in 4 years. We never raised property taxes. We cut them 18.5% in 4 years. We never raised a utility bill for existing users. That has never happened in 25 years. Nobody's done that. And you know what? I fought with everybody. And I was an ass to some people. You know why? Because I was an ass on your behalf, the people of the community. Because that's what they elected me to do. I will never forget this. When you run for public office in a lot of thriving municipalities, they have special interest groups that want to interview you and talk to you. They want to decide who they're going to support. Now, most of the time, they know who they're going to support. They support people that'll do whatever they want to do. And it's a glorified floor show. And I remember going into one of these interviews at 27 years old, knowing that the people that are doing this interview, and I was talking with somebody about this yesterday, because they were asking me, and I'm not going to name the group because it doesn't matter, but somebody was asking me, they didn't get the support of this group. And they were like, should I be concerned about this? And I told them the story. I went in with this group and I knew what their agenda was. And I said, I'm going to do this interview because it's fun. And I'm going to do this interview because I'm going to win this election. And I'm going to do this interview because I'm going to tell these people what I'm going to do when I win this election. And I'm going to tell them they're done. So go ahead and support who you're going to support. I know how it's going to go. And you're done. And I want them to know it. And I went in there and we got into it. Like, very uncomfortable got into it. Probably uncomfortable for them, not for me. The point is, we have, and so I used to run into this when I would try to appoint people to boards and commissions. I want to be on the police commission. I want to be on the parks board. And I would fight with my colleagues about this, where they were like, we want people that are interested in the thing. I don't. I want people that are interested in the taxpayers. I don't want you being an advocate for the parks. I don't want you being an advocate for the police. I don't want you being an advocate for the fire or any other department. I want you to be an advocate for the taxpayer. Every decision you make should be, how does it affect the taxpayer? And we don't have that. We get people that get on boards and commissions or elected office based on their own special interest. Special interest not in anything nefarious, but the thing they're interested in. Well, I'm on the parks board. I want it to grow. Why? Because you like it? Well, I'm on the police merit board. I want to give the police whatever they want. Well, what if they don't need it? Like, what if it's not good for the taxpayers? And again, these are not indictments of our men and women who serve in police or fire or anything else. But they work for the public. They work for the taxpayer. There is nothing in this entire guide from any candidate at any level that says, I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off at how you're getting screwed. And I'm not going to take it anymore. It's all about little special things that these people want to do. Well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be more accessible. What does that do? What does it matter whether you're accessible if you're not fighting for the taxpayer? It comes back to the article I wrote in the Star yesterday about how the Trump endorsement is robbing voters of the ability to have a robust debate about key issues. Because the Trump endorsement becomes the de facto campaign default. Whatever it is. Well, Trump endorsed me. Yeah, but what about the property tax mess? What about utility bills? What about the roads? What about IEDC corruption? What about the Medicaid debacle? Trump endorsed me. We are robbing ourselves of robust debate, and then we elect people based on things that don't matter and nothing changes. There was no outrage from anyone that I saw in these articles, which means they believe in the system. It means they believe the system as it exists can actually be tinkered with or altered with to make meaningful changes for the taxpayers. Or not even meaningful changes for the taxpayers, but meaningful changes that make the system better. It can't. The system is so broke. You are so broke. Look at your wallet. Look at how much your property, okay, I live in a very modest home. I just laid out to you how my property taxes have gone up $450 over the last 4 years. 21% increase. Now extrapolate that out across the entire town in which I live. 35,000 people live in that town. I think there's something like 10,000 homes. I live on probably the low side of the assessed value now. Think about how much money that is. And yet, despite all that money going in, the town can't lower its tax rate. They refuse to. They refuse to do it. Despite all that money going in, the school district, well, they tried to raise taxes by $100 million, and then they failed, and now they've lowered their tax rate because they finally had to admit. But it took people like me getting roasted in our community and called horrible things because they said, no, you can do it without it. Now, to the school's credit, they're way better than most. Brownsburg school system way better than most in terms of not doing the referendums because they could. But that's our standard now. Well, at least they didn't screw me with another referendum. Hundreds and hundreds of millions, billions of dollars flowing in. And this town can't make it work? It's not enough money? Extrapolate it out to the county. Well, there's not enough money for this or that. How? How the hell is there not enough money? No one's asking that question. No one's angry about it. There was no pissed off in these responses. Man, when I ran, I was pissed off and everybody knew it. People say that. You seem angry. I am angry. And that was 15 years ago. It's way worse now than it was then. Until we have people running for public office who are angry on your behalf, who are angry about the system, who believe the system needs torn down and that you need to be put first. Not the police, not the fire, not the parks, not the wastewater plant. You. Everything they do should be about you. And they should express that. No offense, and I saw this over and over again. We need to be more accessible. We need to be more transparent. Oh, so you can be accessible telling me how you're screwing me? You can be transparent about how you're sticking it to me. That's all great, but none of it matters if it's not accessibility and transparency about putting the taxpayers first. And I didn't see this from anyone in any of these pages. All right. Somebody who puts you first, our guy John, Vent Savvy. Now, I had a chance to meet John this morning for the first time in person. Talked to him on the phone numerous times. Emailed with him, etc. Met him for the first time in person. Spent about 10, 15 minutes chatting with him. Great guy. He loves the Rob Kendall Show. He loves you guys. He said you guys have been awesome, calling him, letting him know. And this is how we keep our show rolling. You have to contact these sponsors. Even if you don't need the service, just let them know you heard the ad. And man, he's so impressed with the Rob Kendall Show audience. So on behalf of John, thank you. And let's keep that rolling. They are supporting us so we can bring you this programming. You know, most people think a bathroom fan is just about clearing the mirror. It's not. It's about what you and your family are breathing. Now, what I mean by that is when steam hangs in the air after a shower, that moisture soaks into drywall and ceilings. That's how mold starts. And you won't always see it until it's a real problem. Poor ventilation can affect air quality throughout your home. This is why you call Vent Savvy. Here's how this works. John from Vent Savvy, you go to ventsavvy.com. 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 And you say, I heard about your ad on Rob's show. John then comes to your house free of charge. And like I said, I met John today. I already knew this, but he's a reputable, good-looking dude, nice guy. Comes to your house free of charge. Crawls up into your attic, takes a look around. Free of charge, no charge. Says, here's what I found. Hopefully he finds nothing. If he finds nothing, he says, thank you for watching Rob's show. Thanks for calling. You have a great day. And if he finds something, then he tells you, okay, here's your issue. Here's what we think the solution might be, and you can deal with that accordingly. That's it. Ventsavvy.com. VENTSAVVY.com. All right. I got to calm down a little bit. I got to take a little pause, catch my breath, because I am pissed off. I'll come back in a better mood. We got a lot of big stories on the way. You're watching Rob Kendall Show.
Are you seeing cracks in mortar, moisture working through walls, facade or structural failure beginning to surface? Bramwell Mackay sets the standard for exterior and structural building solutions. Our 40-year master masons and industry experts address moisture intrusion, failing foundations, masonry deterioration, and more. From preserving historic landmarks to addressing modern building envelope issues, Bramwell Mackay delivers full-spectrum service with white-glove professionalism. In Indianapolis, call 812-33-BRICK. 812-33-BRICK.
Are you a Clay County resident who is ready to be part of creating a brighter future for our citizens? Doug Cobb is running for county commissioner and will bring fresh perspective to the table. A local farm and business owner, he has skin in the game of our county's success. He knows that a great team can accomplish so much more than any one of us alone and is ready to create a brighter future for Clay County together. The committee to elect Doug Cobb approves this ad. Paid for by Linda Cheesem.
Your bathroom fan could be secretly costing you thousands of dollars in damages. Most people don't even know this until the damage is done. With over 18 years of bathroom remodeling experience, here are 3 signs your fan is failing you without spending a dime on inspections. Sign number 1 is if you have foggy mirrors after you shower. This shows that your fan isn't pulling out enough moisture, which creates the perfect environment for mold. If you have a properly functioning bathroom fan that is the right size for your space, you shouldn't see much fogginess on your bathroom mirror at all. Sign number 2 is if you have bubbling, cracking, or peeling paint in your bathroom. This means moisture is soaking into your walls, slowly breaking down drywall, and even causing the wood framing behind it to rot. Sign number 3 is if you have mold buildup on your fan, ceilings, or walls. This is terrible for your health, but also could wreck your bathroom, costing you a fortune. If you're noticing any of these signs, here's what you can do.
Call Vent Savvy today at 317-300-4434. That's 317-300-4434 and mention Rob for a free attic inspection. Hey guys, welcome back. Rob Kendall Show. There's now new drama in the Senate District 38 primary, which is the most fascinating thing in the world to me. It's just all so ridiculous. And the Indy Star did a big expose on this yesterday, and they started asking people about how they're feeling about this race. And what these people said in the article is exactly what I've been saying this entire primary season. So we'll get to that in just a second. But first, we got to do a couple little housekeeping measures here. First of all, I want to tell you about our friends at Bramwell Mackay. Leaky chimney, water in the basement, cracks around the exterior of your home. Bramwell Mackay Property Services and Consultants is your authority for chimney repair, tuck pointing, foundation repair, crawl space to basement conversions, basement waterproofing, and more. Bramwell Mackay doesn't offer quick patches. Their team of 40-year master masons and industry experts address the root cause and provide solutions that last lifetimes. Your home is one of your biggest investments. Treat it that way. Bramwell Mackay, BRAMWELLMCKAY.com, your masonry, foundation, and chimney specialist. Okay, one other housekeeping item before we get to this Senate District 38. Oh, and we got to talk about what the Bears said yesterday, too. The Bears... This pains me so much, but I'm starting to hate the Chicago Bears and how they're handling this stadium thing. We'll get to that in a second. Housekeeping measure. There's one guy every day, and we think we know who it is, but one guy every day who hits the thumbs down button on the YouTube page. Now, we ask you guys to do this. It's very important. If you haven't done it yet, please hit the little thumbs up button. Let us know you like what we're doing here. That's a major way you can help the program. Now, there's one guy who every day who thinks he's super clever hitting the thumbs down. And I don't know why you're doing that or whatever. Why you would engage in a show that you don't like every day is beyond me. But this person doesn't realize, and I'm going to let them know now, you're helping us by doing that. Like, it's every day. There's one person. Now, I'm not mad that somebody doesn't like my show. That's fine. But you hitting that thumbs down helps us the same as the person hitting the thumbs up. Like, there's not some YouTube monitor sitting there going, oh, you got a thumbs down. No, it's it for them. So YouTube doesn't care. You know what YouTube cares about? Engagement. Are people there engaging, what you guys do every day? So the guy who thinks he's clever or some sort of internet middle finger to me by putting the thumbs down every day, keep doing it. That's fine. Hit the button. It's helping us. Exactly. I just had to point that out. Jason and I have talked about that for a week now. Like, does he not realize what he's doing? He's helping us the same as the person giving the thumbs up. It's hard to believe somebody who would be that spiteful would not realize what they're doing. But anyway, there you go. If you guys haven't hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. Help us out. It really helps us grow the program. All right, before we get to Senate District 38, and I had so much content today. Some days it's like, oh, man, it's going to be a stretch to get 2 hours. And some days like, how am I going to get this all in 2 hours? And this was one of those days. I got really pissed off about the voter guide. Like, this is my mind, right? This is the way my mind works. I'm ready for bed. I'm going to do a little fun little candidate reading. Now I'm angry. Now I can't go to bed until 12:30. Like, I woke up this morning, and my wife's like, you look tired. I'm like, I am tired. And she goes, well, that's what you get for staying up till 12:30. So I was doing it on behalf of the taxpayers. Anyway, so ESPN had an article yesterday. The NFL had their spring meeting. I don't know exactly what it's called. But where the general managers, the owners, they all get together. I think this is in Florida. I think this is where they meet. And Ryan Poles, this article comes to us from ESPN. Ryan Poles is the general manager of the Chicago Bears. And he got asked about, Ryan Poles, Warren. Ryan Poles is the general manager. This was Warren. Craig Warren. He is the president, the head of the general manager. Ryan Poles is the general manager. Warren. He was the head of the Big Ten before he went to run the Chicago Bears. And he was one of the guys who during COVID was like, oh, no, it's too dangerous. Kids can't play football. And then the players were like, we're playing. Remember that? Remember when the Ohio State guys came out and were like, we'll play on our own. We'll play backyard football. And he's like, well, probably ought to not lose all that money. Okay, everybody can play football again. Remember that? And then the SEC's like, we're in too. This is who this guy is. Anyway, first name doesn't matter. He's the head of the Chicago Bears. I think president is his title, Chicago Bears. He gets asked about the stadium. The Bears plan, like, what are the Bears going to do? Are the Bears going to go to Hammond, Indiana, or are the Bears going to build in Arlington Heights? And I want to read you his quote. And I don't even blame the Bears for this. I blame our own politicians and how much they hate us. But I'm going to read you this quote, and bear with me, because he's talking about the property taxes and the Bears stadium. And then I'm going to bring it back to why you should be outraged about this. Quote, I think the biggest thing is In all these big projects, you have to have tax certainty, which is critically important. Okay, stop right there. I'm not disputing what he's saying. What I am saying, though, before I read you the rest of his quote, now get ready. If you're in a motor vehicle, both hands on the steering wheel. If you're in an office, both hands on the desk. Maybe you might want to stuff a sock in your mouth so you don't disrupt your coworkers. You're about to be really angry here, or duct tape or whatever. He's not wrong to want tax certainty. But what about you? What about your tax certainty in your home? Are you not entitled to tax certainty? Because you've had none of it the past 5 years. I just laid out how much the taxes have gone up, and you have no idea from one year to the next. It's whatever the assessor says. We laid that out in the segment, 20, 30 minutes ago. You have no certainty whatsoever. And when you say it, they tell you, shut up and pay. That's the approach to you, the homeowner. Now, listen to what Kevin, is it Kevin? It's Kevin Warren. That's who it was. Kevin Warren. That's the name of the guy for the Bears. Jeez Louise. 42, and I'm slipping. Anyway, quote, we would not be able to build a stadium without tax certainty. Fortunately, here we go. We do have tax certainty in the state of Indiana from that standpoint. So you have no idea what your property tax bill is going to be from year to year. Whatever that assessor says, if it's a $20,000 increase, hey, that's hundreds of dollars out of your pocket. Shut up and pay. You have no idea. But the Bears, Kevin Warren, he's telling you, oh, we've got tax certainty. And listen to what the tax certainty is. There are no property taxes for our stadium in Indiana, so that's certain. Let that sink in. Your taxes are going up every year. You, the hardworking middle-class person listening to me right now, your taxes are going up every single year. The Bears, they're not paying a dime. Zero. Don't take my word for it. Take the word of Kevin Warren for it, who runs the Chicago Bears. There are no property taxes for our stadium in the state of Indiana. So that is certain. That legislation is passed. But here in Illinois, for us to even consider an opportunity, we have to have tax certainty. Without that, we can't proceed forward. This is why the taxpayers are involved with the purchase of the Bears Stadium. One of numerous reasons is if it's owned by the state of Indiana, I have to pay taxes on it. You have no idea what you're going to pay from one year to the next. And the Chicago Bears, in the words of Kevin Warren himself, free ride. Come on in. Now, keep in mind on top of that, then you've got a new food and beverage tax that's going to be levied, hotel tax that's going to be levied. All the taxes that are garnered in the area are going to stay in the area, so it won't benefit anyone but the area. So the schools, they can kiss that goodbye. Other local government entities can kiss that goodbye. Income tax, we're like, income tax, all these rich people coming to Indiana, they're going to, no, all that money stays in the area. Doesn't go to the state, stays right there in the area. Oh, and don't forget, they're going to siphon money from the tolls off to pay for the infrastructure for the stadium. Of course, Mike Braun just came out and said, well, we don't have any money for I-70, so I'm going to have to raise taxes by $6.5 billion. Yet they apparently have enough money to siphon it off from the toll road in Northwest Indiana to pay for the Bears Stadium. You get nothing. Do you realize it now? Do you realize it now? You get nothing, and the rich get everything. You may not even be able to afford the taxes on your home next year, and the Bears, here's all sorts of special taxes for you. Here's your property tax-free stadium. Thank you. This is the Republican Party doing this, guys. There's no Democrats to blame this on. Mike Braun is a Republican. The General Assembly is dominated by Republicans. This is how the Republican Party operates. And I always laugh when people are like, well, what do you want, a Democrat? Well, why is he standing up for the Democrats? I'm not. I'm demanding that the Republicans behave like Republicans. I'm demanding that the Republicans give a damn about you. I'm demanding that the Republicans put you and your finances and your money ahead of mega corporations, which the Chicago Bears are. The Chicago Bears are an $8 billion mega corporation. And they're getting billions of dollars in handouts for you. They're getting tax certainty. The Bears are pleased as punch with their tax certainty. What's your tax certainty? Ask Braun. Maybe, heaven forbid, someone in an interview will ask him, in addition to when he's going to suspend the gas tax, why do the Bears get tax certainty and the people don't? See what he says. He'll spend 9 minutes lying to you, but at least someone will have asked the question. God, it never stops. This is why I am the way I am. And I wish every other member of the media were as angry about it as I am. I wish other people were as pissed off about it as I am. I wish other people, when they interviewed Braun, didn't want to pose for photos with him like it was some sort of great thrill to get to talk to this guy who's screwing everyone. I wish they were focused on fighting for us, not cheesing for photos. This is why it never gets fixed, because these politicians are never held to account. And if they want to debate that, if they want to tell me how they've held Braun to account, any member of the media, I'm all ears. I'm all ears. Let me tell you about Lauren Wilson, realtor. Buying a home is the biggest investment you'll ever make, but it's about so much more than a price tag. It's about your next chapter. When you work with Lauren Wilson with At Properties, her goal is to make sure you feel 100% confident in every decision you make. She's not there just to show you houses. She's there to guide you through the schools, the neighborhoods, and the local routes that make Central Indiana a great place to live. Lauren Wilson's a military vet, provides a hands-on, high-touch service. You deal with her directly every step of the way. And look, even if you're not buying a home right now or selling a home right now, get to know her. It's great to have that person in your pocket. So when you make that decision, you can go right away. 317-590-2290. 317-590-2290. Lauren Wilson with At Properties. All right, let's talk about Senate District 38. This is the gift that keeps on giving. It is showing to you how ridiculous all of these people are. And it is an article in the Indy Star that reinforced what I've been telling you and begging people to listen to for months now about the Trump endorsement. So just a reminder, I know most of you are fully aware of this, but for those, we have new people coming in all the time. For those of you who are not, Senate District 38 is western part of our state. It is Vigo, Sullivan, and Clay counties. And there's a three-way race out there for Senate. Greg Good is the incumbent senator. Like, when you say this stuff out loud, you're like, really, this is our government? Yes, this is why we're in the position we're in. Greg Good is the incumbent Republican senator. However, he's never been elected to public office. He's never earned your vote. He was caucused into his position. He works for Todd Young. He's running against Vigo County Councilwoman Brenda Wilson, who is running on absolutely nothing other than she was endorsed by Donald Trump. That's it. You ask her what she's going to do. I was endorsed by Trump. And look, no offense, Vigo County, not exactly the sort of bastion of great government you'd want to run on, is why you should elevate or promote that person. Oh, and by the way, the Trump endorsement was so irrelevant to Trump, he got her office wrong when he did it. He couldn't even say the office right. That's how little he knows about Brenda Wilson. Oh, and then it gets better. Like, I'm saying this all out loud. I'm like, this is our government. One of these people is going to win. And I'll get to this in a second. I think the best choice is the guy who was never even voted on by the voters. I think when it's all said and done, he may be the best choice. I'll lay this out for you here in a second. The third woman running is Alexandra Wilson. And everywhere she goes, she has to convince people she wasn't convicted of a felony. Because if she had been, which some people say she was, and she says she wasn't, and thus far the courts have agreed with her, or the election boards have agreed with her, if she were convicted of a felony, she couldn't run for public office. So those are your choices. The guy who wasn't elected, the woman who, being a Vigo County councilwoman, which Vigo County is a complete dumpster fire and has been for generations, who was running on Trump's endorsement, but he knew so little about her he couldn't even get her office right, or the woman who has to convince everyone everywhere she goes that she wasn't convicted of a felony. Those are your choices out there. That's it. So the Star, Indy Star, Kayla Dwyer, did an article about this race because it is nuts. And it all centers around this Trump endorsement. Now, remember The Trump endorsement stems from redistricting. Trump got mad because Greg Good voted against redistricting. And Greg Good voted in large part against redistricting because he held a town hall. He said, look, I want to have a town hall in here for my actual constituents. I want to cut the BS, and I want, if you are a resident of my district, I want you to come tell me what you think about redistricting. It was open to the public. Anyone could come. Democrat, Republican, independent, apathetic, whatever. All you had to do in order to get in was prove you lived in his district, which was totally reasonable to me. You know how many people spoke in support of redistricting at that town hall meeting? 0. None. You know how many people spoke against? 70. And I said, it's over. Greg Good has to vote against redistricting. He gave his constituents an opportunity to lay this out on where they were at, and the Republicans couldn't even garner one person, or the Trump people couldn't even garner one person to come speak. And it was a public meeting. Anyone could come. So clearly, it's not that important. And this is why I've been saying for months now that redistricting is not a magic silver bullet. There may be some of these challengers who win, but it ain't going to be because of redistricting. And if you're a candidate who has made your campaign about Trump's endorsement and redistricting, people don't care. So Kayla Dwyer went out. Oh, by the way, there's one other part of this election that gets even better. Brenda Wilson's husband, his name I believe was Fred, he passed away a couple years ago. And he was a very well-known farmer in the area. Now, I think this was like a second marriage for both of them. I don't think they had children together. But just last week, Greg Good shows up on Twitter with Fred Wilson's entire family at his former family farm. And all of these people are stating they're endorsing Greg Good over their former, what would she be, stepmother? Mother-in-law? Whatever she is. That tells you what they think of her. They're like, nope, we're going with the other guy. They knew her best. This race is so wild. So Kayla Dwyer's like, and he was a great reporter for the Indy Star. Goes, all right, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. And here is, and look, by the way, I'm telling you this from my own, look, most of you know, I have family, my family's from Terre Haute. I have tons of friends still in Vigo County, Clay County. I know the area pretty well. And so I've talked to several people who live over there, and they have told me, they said, Greg Good is going to smoke Brenda Wilson. It's not going to be close. And I've come to believe that based on the conversations I've had. And this article sort of backs it up. I'm going to read you from Kayla Dwyer's article because I want to make sure people aren't like, oh, he's embellishing, he's making this up. Quote, even in rural Clay County, though, GOP Chair Josh Clark said his community was mostly against redistricting. Bingo! This has been my argument from the beginning. Poll after poll showed people do not want redistricting. It is insane to think that at the ballot box, they're going to punish a senator for doing what they wanted. I've asked this for months now. You knock on the door. Hi, I'm here for so-and-so. Oh, in this case, hi, I'm here for Brenda Wilson. Oh, okay, why is she running? Because Greg Good screwed Trump on redistricting. Well, I was against redistricting. What's the comeback to that? There is none. Thank you. Have a good day. Where if your conversation were about property taxes, utility bills, corruption in government, roads, Medicaid, you could win so many votes, and they've blown it. They've blown it. And the GOP chair of the county is saying it right here. Some people may appreciate the endorsement, he said, but he suspects a greater number of people might be more familiar with Good and the groundwork he's been doing for a longer period. Bingo. First of all, this is why these senators quit in the middle and they caucus people in. It gives them a giant head start, which is totally unfair, but we've had that conversation before. But what was Greg Good doing? He had a public town hall. You're my constituent? Come, tell me. I don't care what your opinion is. He cares. Well, he may not actually care, but he espoused to care. He just thinks, you come, whatever your opinion is, and give it. I'll listen. And by the way, at that town hall, he was listening. It wasn't him talking. He was listening. And nobody showed up in support of it. Steve Ellis, the owner of a gun shop, Top Guns in Terre Haute, also a city councilor, was curious about the question. He posted a poll to his Facebook page holding Vigo County accountable. Boy, they need to start doing some more of that. Asking, quote, if President Trump endorses a local/state candidate, will that cause you to vote for that candidate? Of the 500 people who responded to that poll, 80% said no. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about this. A very small portion of the populace, that is their thing. 20, maybe 30%. And they did it because of Trump. And a lot of those people, they don't vote if Trump ain't on the ballot. It doesn't matter who he endorses. We've seen it. We have years and years of proof of this. A blown opportunity. Most of these incumbents are going to win, and they're going to get back in there, and they're going to screw us the way they've screwed us before. And when this happens, we can look to Trump, and we can look to Turning Point USA, and we look to these challengers who didn't know their heads from their backsides, and for some psychotic, idiotic reason, chose to make an issue that doesn't matter to people their key and only issue. And we're going to miss an opportunity to have a block of people who could run as a group and enter that state house and tell Rod Bray we're fixing property taxes. We ran on this, we won, we're doing it, or we're going to make your life hell. Can't stop all of us. We're not going to have that. Nothing matters if these people win because they're not running on anything. And this article from the Star, you can go read it for yourself. There's a lot of quotes from people. It bears out. Redistricting is not a big issue to people. They don't care. And it's just such a wasted opportunity. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, everybody's favorite part of the show, producer Jason will have all the YouTube comments. Well, not all the YouTube comments, but his favorite YouTube comments of the day. You're watching Rob Kendall Show.
Hi, I'm Lauren Wilson, a realtor with Properties. Born and raised right here in Central Indiana and a Hoosier through and through. Selling your home is a massive undertaking, and I completely understand what that is. That's why when you work with me, we put a great plan together to make sure that when your home comes to the market, it is in the best light possible. Again, I'm Lauren Wilson, 317-590-2290. 317-590-2290. Let's put a plan together and get your home sold.
Right now, everything's expensive. That includes things you need around the house. If your water heater, water softener, or well pump goes out, or even if your toilet stops working, you could be looking at a major expense. Don't let your next call to a plumber break the bank. Call John at Black Sheep Plumbing. John is a Hoosier lifer who takes pride in and stands behind his work. That's why all basic services and repairs with Black Sheep Plumbing come with a 2-year parts and labor guarantee, with water heaters having a 6-year parts and tank guarantee. Call or text Black Sheep Plumbing for all your needs today and speak directly with John, the owner. 765-315-7558. That's Black Sheep Plumbing at 765-315-7558.
Are you a Clay County resident who is ready to be part of creating a brighter future for our citizens? Doug Cobb is running for county commissioner and will bring fresh perspective to the table. A local farm and business owner, he has skin in the game of our county's success. He knows that a great team can accomplish so much more than any one of us alone and is ready to create a brighter future for Clay County together. The committee to elect Doug Cobb approves this ad. Paid for by Linda Cheatham.
Hey guys, welcome back. Rob Kendall Show. Don't forget the link, robkendallshow.com. We got the live link up there. All the podcasting platforms. We got the stories from the transcripts of our favorite articles each day. And that support button. If you're feeling super generous, if you're like, dang, that was an entertaining show today. That was worth $3. Hit the support button. Maybe it was worth $3,000. Whatever, it's your choice. We're not picky. RobKendallShow.com. Hit that support button. We thank everybody that's been a part of that. Steve giving yesterday. Try to get caught up. I'm maybe a day behind on some of the names, and I'll do my best to get those tomorrow. And thank you to everybody who has done that. That really helps us. If you haven't done it yet, hit that little thumbs up. That just goes such a long way to help us, that little thumbs up. And, of course, that subscriber count continues to climb. Continues to climb every single day. We couldn't do it without you guys. Thanks for all of you who are sharing and being a part of the show with us. And with that, it is time. It's brought to you by Black Sheep Plumbing. Producer Jason hopefully fixed whatever went berserko yesterday.
Let's hope we're here. We're here. It seems like We are here and we have volume, so...
Now, look, guys, again, we laugh about this. We told you guys from day one, and I'm knock on wood, I've been amazed at how well it's gone so far. We are temporarily here. We're in a makeshift studio. We try to work around other people. And until we get to our permanent home, and even when we get to our permanent home, there'll probably be some stuff that happens. But we laugh about it. We have fun with it. We know you have fun with it with us. We don't freak out if something doesn't work. It's technology. There's going to come a day we're going to come in here and the internet's not going to work at some point. So, we had a lot of fun with it yesterday. Jason had some problem with his audio and video, and then you got it all working eventually.
And it's like 24 hours of a black cloud. It's like when you're in this business and that happens, it's like until you get another show, it's like an OCD thing.
He took it super personal. Like he called me yesterday on the way home, and I was like, dude, it's fine. Like it was like 30 seconds.
Oh, dead air is just a cardinal sin. That's
but I mean, he was beating himself up, and I was like, dude, we do 10,000 things here each day. It's fine. It's not that big of a deal. But now here you go. This is your chance to shine. What about Black Sheep Plumbing?
That's right, Black Sheep Plumbing. Let me get back into the swing of things.
You have to tell the people about Black Sheep Plumbing.
Black Sheep. I'm just so concerned that I'm even on Black Sheep. Okay, right now everything's expensive. That includes things you need around the house. If your water heater, water softener, well pump goes out, or even if the toilet stops working, you could be looking at a major expense. Don't let your next call to a plumber break the bank. Call Black Sheep Plumbing. Talk to John, 765-315-7558. That's 765-315-7558. And John is a Hoosier lifer. That's why all the basic services and repairs with Black Sheep Plumbing come with a 2-year parts and labor guarantee, with water heaters having a 6-year parts and tank guarantee.
And we have heard from multiple people who have used John since they heard his ad on our show. Said, man, he's done awesome. He's just been there on time. He's been quick. He's done the job. John's awesome, man. He's a great dude, as far as I know. I mean, as long as that's really his name is John. He's a great guy, and so thanks for supporting so we can do the YouTube comments each day.
Nicholas Kurtz, I should have used this as the excuse. Producer Jason, no audio was a great April Fool's joke.
Oh, you should have.
See, I could have used that.
All right, let me explain to everybody how this works. We have new people in all the time. The YouTube chat, we love the chatters. We encourage the back and forth. It's like a little family we have there. It makes it fun to play along with the show throughout the course of the 2 hours. We encourage you to chat. You do have to be a subscriber. That's the rule. You got to be a subscriber in order to chat. You got to behave like a decent member of society. You ain't got to like me. We read comments critical of me all the time. You just got to behave and have a welcoming environment for everyone. And you guys do a great job. And that's where we're at now.
Okay, a couple things that were later in the show, and I'll go back chronologically starting at the beginning. A new chatter. The 06010, or perhaps 06010 board, BOR.
Oh, that guy's on Twitter. I've known him for years on Twitter.
He says, remember the Rush rooms? Remember when Rush Limbaugh used to, Limbaugh didn't do it, but restaurants around the country would have a Rush room where they would play Rush during the noon to 3 hour.
Really?
And people would show up and hang out and it was like a viewing party. They suggest we do that with the Rob Kendall Show. Maybe at Flapjacks in Brownsburg.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Maybe the Stacks Pancake House would do it for us. They may not be
fans of yours. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. They're fine. They're great.
Okay. And then Bowden JM. I'm assuming that's like probably Jim Bowden or James. Anyway, Bowden JM. A thumbs down show where everybody, instead of hitting the thumbs up, would hit a thumbs down. But don't do that. I looked it up to see. Now, again, when people interact and hit a thumbs down, it does not hurt you as the show.
Right.
Because YouTube thinks, okay, that's great. People are interacting. We want you at the platform. And the fact that you're so pissed off that you hit a thumbs down, that means this was engaging. You can literally have a show with a bunch of thumbs down. As long as people are watching for a long period of time, that's what YouTube goes with. They may dislike it. Like I've got to watch this, but this is really making me mad. But, it's educational or whatever. I've got to watch it.
So that's the way radio is. They're like, people used to listen to me all the time because they hated me, and that's fine.
So I put in Google, if a live stream for one day encouraged listeners to hit the thumb down and everybody did, would that negatively hurt the YouTube algorithm? And it goes into this whole, yes, it absolutely would. That is a negative thing to do. Could lead to suspension and termination. I'm like, wow, that's pretty wild. And I looked up at what I typed, and okay, spell check got me. If the live stream for one day encouraged listeners to hit thumbs down and everybody died, Would that negatively hurt?
Oh, no.
The youth? Well, yeah, you would think that probably would. If everybody died, they'd hit the down arrow. So that spell check, it just gets you every time.
Well,
you got to
so
pay attention.
for those of you who missed the earlier part of the show, the reason we were laughing about this is there's one guy who every day is spiteful enough that he comes over, and that's a lot of spite. You got to give the guy credit.
He might just be having fun. I think we know who it is, but that's okay. No big deal.
He hits the thumbs down, and we said, look, you're not hurting what we're doing here by doing this. In fact, you're helping us.
Oh, they're going to be so mad.
By hitting the thumbs down.
Now, if that was the only response we had to the show, I'd say that would be negative. Okay, let's get to it. To the chatters. C. Mills, 890. Did you fact check that today is fact-checking day? Not fact-checking day. Let me say that again. Did you fact-check that today is fact-checking day?
Is that an official thing?
I think it's, probably on the calendar, probably says fact-checking day.
Oh?
I don't know.
Or is he just being funny?
I think there's something to it, perhaps. He also goes on to say, it's like a countdown to a gladiator fight in ancient Rome. That would be our 10-minute countdown.
Sure.
Everybody's getting ready for the show. Kevin Branham, about 94 minutes ago, had this prediction that Jason will be on at about 94 minutes. C. Mills added 94 minutes until Jason's segment. C. Mills is trying to get in on it, too. There we go.
They've been consistent.
I'll take it.
Every day.
There we go. Spray Jockey. We have to give Jason material for his part of the show in 93 minutes. I'm starting to pick up.
You're getting a fan club.
Here. It's like you guys do know how to get on the chat.
Yeah.
It's working. C. Mills. Jason. I didn't write this.
Yeah.
The best looking and most respected producer from 10 to noon in the nation. And he should make the website for the Secretary of State's office so it's not under construction anymore. We'd need more photos of Diego for that.
They are everywhere. I went and looked at it once you pointed that out to me.
It's pretty crazy, isn't it?
They're everywhere. It is a campaign website.
It's Diego's personal site that you get to do Secretary of State stuff on.
Yeah.
MLM Warriors, producer Jason does an awesome job. Where are these coming from? I don't know who chooses all these. Alva Coakley, good morning from Louisiana, everyone. Added, poll results are in. Louisiana loves Jason.
I think it's just like you.
I don't know what happened, man. Ethan Hatcher, Trump in Iran. Mission accomplished 2, Electric Boogaloo. Let's see. Oh, Mad Duck pointed out, remember, 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Trust your government.
Right. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
LD
Bingo.
Stoltz, congratulations on your 1-month anniversary, Rob. You've done a fantastic job keeping everybody informed. I love these 20-minute segments, by the way. I think you get a lot across in those 20-minute segments.
I know we mentioned that earlier. I did not spend nearly enough time on it, that this is our 1 month. Today is 1 month since we launched the Rob Kendall Show. That's right.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Let's move on down the line here. Steve Green with an E.
By the way, Steve Green, I know I mentioned this earlier. Steve Green hit the support button at Rob Kendall Show yesterday.
Oh,
so
thank you very much for
doing
that contribution.
Be like Steve. You can be in the Cool Kids Club.
With an E. The RNC has called me 3 times this morning. The desperation is apparent.
Oh, wow.
Good thing Steve gave us all his money yesterday.
Right. He said, I don't have any money.
Before the RNC got a hold of him.
Gave it to Rob Kendall.
Indie Gig Life. I feel like I know Indie Gig Life. I'm not sure from where. I drive for a living as an independent contractor in Indy. I go through fuel, extra $180 a week for 87 octane.
Holy smokes.
Crazy.
By the way, did you know, okay, I'm sure our audience didn't know this. You're supposed to use a special gas for your lawnmower. Did you know this?
Maybe a mixture, but I never did. I just always figured when the lawnmower is dead, I'll go buy another one. They last. I mean, it's not going to kill it in the first year.
So I never had this issue until the lawnmower I have now, which I've had for 8 or 9 years now. But it stopped working. Like I got it, I had it for like a year, and then it stopped working. And took it to the shop, and they said, yeah, it's the gas. And there's this special, and it has more ethanol, less ethanol. I don't know, but it's like $1 more a gallon to get the lawnmower gas.
Oh.
So I'm this year my pledge, because I like yard work.
Aren't you supposed to like mix oil with it or something? I pay a guy
to cut your grass.
I pay.
What you pay some guy to cut your grass?
Yeah, I do.
What's the going rate for cutting grass?
I get a good rate.
Yeah.
He gives me a good rate because I've been using them a long time.
It's like $25?
No, I pay about 40
Per cut?
Well, I was started out at 25, but I felt guilty. And,
I would cut your grass for $40. For $35.
Well, you can't because Nick does a fantastic job. Nick Pender is my guy, and he manicures my lawn.
We need a lawn person.
He's a listener, too.
Okay, we need a lawn person to sponsor the show. If you are a lawn person, sales@robkendallshow.com. Sales@robkendallshow.com. By the way, coming up next week, we got a beef guy that's coming on board. He's a farmer, and he sells beef off of his farm, and it's amazing. So we need all sorts of guys.
I thought you were going to say off his truck.
No, he has a shop. Whatever you are, we need you. Sales@robkendallshow.com.
All right. Vic Ferrari, because Stone Cold Rob Kendall said so. Vic Ferrari, Robzilla, Kevin Branham, Jason is the bomb. Speaking of bomb, Adam Bomb, my buddy Adam Bomb.
Okay, so yesterday,
ATOM, Adam Bomb.
Let's reset this. Well, I can't remember why we got on this yesterday.
We got on it because we were talking about Speedway, and I just mentioned I hadn't been to Speedway since the last time I went to my buddy's house, Adam Bomb. He's a drummer. We jammed together and things like that, but it's been a long time.
Accomplished local musician.
Yeah, Adam Bomb. He used to be in Randy Rocket, I think, the Randy Rocket bit, like back in the 80s. He was one of those like hardcore musicians, like if you did you saw the Dirt, the Motley Crue thing.
Yeah.
Well, that would be Adam Bomb. He lived the life and enjoyed it and is still around to tell about it.
Okay, so let's get into this for a real quick second. So you mentioned this guy's name, and I said, that's his name? Mm-hmm. And then you said, yes, that's his name.
I don't know if that's his mom's
No, I don't think his actual name is Adam Bomb. I don't think it's Mr. and Mrs. Bomb. But my point is, like, that's the name he goes by. That's the name people know him by.
Right.
And you said, yes. And I said, well, there was also a wrestler in the 90s who went by the name Adam Bomb in the WWF at the time.
You said 90s.
In the 90s.
Well,
right?
Adam, my buddy Adam was playing in the 80s, so your guy stole the name. It's such an uncommon name.
You said that he reached out to you and said there were like a swarm of people contacting him that they heard his name on our show.
I haven't talked to him in a few years, and he texted me last night. He's like, man, what the hell did you say about me? Everybody's texting and calling. I'm like... That's crazy.
We have thousands of people between the podcasting and everything else, so why not? But you were saying real quick how much the local music scene has changed. I know we mentioned this before.
Oh, it's not even, there is no local music scene anymore.
You were saying, because Jason used to do a very prominent music magazine in the 80s, right?
Late 80s, early 90s.
Called The Call.
CALL.
Yeah, which was read by musicians, the music scene,
there was, for people that the aged of us out there, there was Hot Potato in the early 80s and owned by a couple, Terry Monday, and Chubby Wadsworth. And
that was his name, Chubby?
Chubby Wadsworth, yeah. He ended up owning a Club LaSalle, something like that. But anyway, they kind of fizzled out with Hot Potato. It was like the rock and roll magazine, and I had just turned 21. I'm like, well, I need a way to get in bars because I can't afford it, so I'll do this magazine. And, oh, yeah, you can come on in and everything. And there would be a couple bar owners that would, like, bounce a check on me. So then it'd be like, okay, well, we'll give you free alcohol. I'm like, okay, well, the rule is it's like a $100 check you bounce. I get $200 in alcohol. And then I could bring an entourage with me. And then it's like, nope, shouldn't have bounced the check. Everybody's drinking tonight.
What a scheme. Yeah, because they didn't want people knowing you bounced the check.
Right. Well, so, yeah, you just had to, he's an advertiser. We traded advertising. No, he bounced a check. But that's okay. We don't tell anybody that.
So my point is,
happened a lot. I drank a lot of beer, a lot of bounced check beer.
My point is, you used to be really in tune to the music scene, and at one point, Indianapolis, Central Indiana, had a really thriving, like you were saying, 6-7 nights a week.
It was and anybody that's listening or watching that would know this back in the 80s or 90s, well, early 90s. Grunge ruined everything. Back when the hair metal was going on and people were partying, it was feel-good music. It was typical for Indianapolis to have, just for instance, the clubs I'm going to name, the Enterprise on the east side, Bentley's on the south side, Razzmatazz on the west side, the Vogue, and then the Patio.
Yeah, the Patio.
Broad Ripple, right? And you would make that circuit. You drink and you drive, and you make the circuit around 465.
Don't do that, by the way.
No, you should never do that. And then there was no Ubers back then, so it was not your fault. You had to You had to get from one club to the next. There was no Uber. Nobody took a cab, so don't do that anymore. And you'd make that circuit all the way, and you'd end up in Broad Ripple, and then or one of the clubs. And if you got too inebriated, you stayed at that one club. But you would go around these clubs 6 and 7 nights a week, because a lot of them, say the Enterprise on the east side, was open Monday through Saturday, and they would have a band come in from out of town or one of the in-town bands, and there was a hotel in the same parking lot, and they'd be there for 6 nights, Monday through Saturday. You go on a Monday night, it's a party night just like Saturday night. Maybe not as wild, and you do that all over town. So basically every night, 7 nights a week. And there'd be a couple clubs. The Razzmatazz was open on Sunday, so all the musicians and everybody would congregate there on a Sunday night. That was back when there was a music scene, a community. Now it's just a bunch of us acoustic people playing solo.
You are available
at the
for rent, by the way. We should point that out. People can rent you to play at their events. They can
rent me, or pay me to perform.
How do they do that? If somebody's like, I would love a celebrity to be
make the check payable to me. Well, don't do a check.
I mean, how do they get a hold of you?
Through the show. I don't know. Get my phone number. I don't know.
Jason's really good, by the way.
You can hit in the chat.
I've seen. Yeah, if you say, "Hey, Jason, come play my event." I've seen Jason several times in person.
I learned the last time you came to see me, I learned a Springsteen song.
Now, if we go through in this live show, which I'm trying to start putting all that together, I think we're going to do a couple of them. I think I'm starting to get a business plan on this. I'm going to have Jason as the opening act do the music this time. You're going to be the warm-up act.
And as you requested, I did learn some early, the good stuff, the early Taylor Swift. Not this later showgirl stuff. It's the good early, I hate that guy music.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, like the first 2 or 3 albums when she hated men, it was fine. But now you're 36 or 37 years old, right? It's like old. Like it's ridiculous.
I wish I was 36, 37 years old. Drew! How long until Jason's segment? He's a great co-host. You need to pay him more. Well, I'm not a co-host. A co-host should know the material. A co-host should look at the template and say, I'm going to talk about that, so I should learn that. Not just a headline in the first paragraph. We talked about inverted pyramid.
That's right.
Inverted paragraphs. You need to know that first paragraph. And I don't like to dig into that. I could care less.
Yeah.
I mean, I listen to Rob and get my information, so I would not make a good co-host, because you'd never want a co-host who didn't know what they were talking about when you were discussing politics. That just would be weird, wouldn't it?
I will never, ever, for anyone, like, I don't care who it is, I'm never working with the co-host, even producer Jason, ever again. If I ain't working by myself, we ain't doing it.
I'm the chat guy.
Content to go be on the back of a garbage truck at this point. I will always, henceforth, no matter who it is, do the show by myself.
It's way too much work for me. I don't like the slings and arrows. Everybody, it gets pointed at Rob. Rick LaFollette. I agree that Trump has done a pathetic job of stating the case for this war, but I had been reading before hostilities started about Iran being within weeks of developing a nuclear weapon. And that's, of course, the line that Trump uses. Now, I will say, my feeling on that, Rob. I'm just glad. I mean, I'll be the guy to say it. I'm glad Trump's in there. I'm glad Trump's dealing with it. I trust Trump to deal with it. I know that you have qualms about it and the way he's dealing with it. I'm not concerned about the way he's dealing with it. I'm just concerned that everybody's saying it's not going to turn out good. It's going to be bad. Gas prices are up forever. He says give it a couple weeks. I'm going to give it a couple weeks. That's why I voted for the guy. I mean, nobody's perfect. Show me a president that we don't look back on and say that guy was a moron. All right? Show me one. And, okay, Ronald Reagan. But he had, let's face it, he had his things too.
They covered Reagan today back then.
Yeah.
My thing is, I just want to be able to afford gas. That's my only deal.
Well, I mean,
$37 is a lot for a golf cart. It's a lot of money.
It's what you can do for your country, not what your country can do for you, Rob. You pay a couple bucks, you go. Now, I will say this. Gas price, everybody's complaining about not being able to drive. Roads are still clogged with people. Still can't get through rush hour. Why aren't you all staying at home?
We're in Fountain Square, and by the way, everything you've read on the news, this place is a dumpster fire around here right now. And the Hogshead has struck again, and it is awful. And the roads are awful.
CM Tharp, and I know we got to wrap this up. CM Tharp, John at Vent Savvy was at my house last evening. Great guy.
Awesome.
All right.
Love it.
And let's see. Do we have, make sure that we get to Watt Voltage. Been a subscriber since nearly day one.
Great.
We appreciate that. But this morning I submitted a very innocuous comment and it wasn't posted. What's up with that, Jason? Not sure where you posted that innocuous comment because I've looked through here, Watt Voltage, and I didn't see it. Maybe posted on one of the, there's two ways to post, the two ways to chat here. One way is to chat during the show. It shows up in a different chat segment versus when the show's over, you can comment below the show. And I always go back and look at those and things, but I mean, I don't necessarily read those, but it's only been a day. Give me a chance to see your stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yesterday we had like 400 comments.
Jeez.
I can't sit here and read 400 comments and talk about us.
Right.
So we'll leave you with the last one here. Trash Man. Rob, another reason for you to hate Braun. I was considering donating to the show, but I received my property tax bill yesterday. Now I may have to sell a kidney.
Yeah, Braun strikes again.
Yeah.
Costing a man a kidney. All right. Thank you, Producer Jason, as always. Thanks to Black Sheep Plumbing, making our YouTube comments possible. Masonry color mismatch, previous repair catching your eye. Not happy with the brick color on your home and ready for a total makeover. Bramwell Mackay Property Services and Consultants offers specialized masonry staining and recoloring. Whether you want to seamlessly blend repairs or completely transform your home's exterior, want to build something new? Bramwell Mackay's 40-year master masons design and construct custom patios, sidewalks, outdoor summer kitchens, archways, entryways, and more. Bramwell Mackay, BRAMWELLMCKAY, beauty built to endure. All right, guys. Want to kind of wrap up the show here today by thanking you. It has been 1 month. Today is 1 month ago today. We started this Rob Kendall Show journey, and I want to thank you guys for being unbelievable. You guys have stepped up. You have engaged. You have shared. You have promoted. You have given. You guys have just been unbelievable, and I just, from the bottom of my heart, and for Jason, we can't thank you enough for helping us get this thing off the ground and get it rolling. Look, there's no other person, entity, whatever you want to call it, that could have done this the way we did, given the resources we had to put into it. We don't have a large corporation behind us. It's just us, and it's just you guys. And it has grown organically in an incredible fashion, and we would not be where we're at without you. So I know you give us the blessing, you give us the privilege of 2 hours of your day every day. And we don't say thank you enough for that. Or try to. We try to mention you guys as much as we can, but it's not enough, because without you, there is no us. You are the show. And my hope is that over the past month, we have proven to you how serious we are about fighting for you, about good government for you, about creating entertaining programming for you. And we want that to continue. We want to continue to grow. We want the voice, the influence. We want all of that. We want all of that to keep moving forward, and we can't do it without you. So thank you for an incredible first month. Let's keep it going. Keep sharing the feeds. Keep sharing, hitting the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button every day. Those little things we ask you to do, it really helps us out a lot. So thank you very much. We got to get out of here. Thank you guys for another great day. Tell your friends about us. For Producer Jason, I'm Rob Kendall. You've been watching Rob Kendall Show.